Good morning, ladies and the gentlemen. Have you ever thought about how much you actually pay for the defense and how much amount of the money government is paying to our defense personnel and onto the defense purposes? So we will try to answer these questions not only for the India and of the world as well. So first of all, the if we look at the data, America is the highest defense spending country in the world, followed by the different countries. So, in absolute terms, the defense spending by the different countries like this, US spent $961 billion, and it is followed by the China, Russia, Germany, and their share is 281 of the China, Russia 166, and we can compare the values of USA and the China. We can see that uh, US is spending more than three times hmm, than the China. So if we compare ourselves with the Pakistan, we spend around 92 billion dollar hmm, billion dollar uh, and Pakistan spent $11 billion. So from this data we can check our capabilities, how much we actually care about our armed forces and the defense pact for the national security. So we can see that we are around eight. We are eight little higher. We are eight times more spending as compared to the Pakistan, and we are far behind the China. We look at the figure, it is actually basically three times. Approximately, China is spending three times more than the India. So in our neighborhood, on the west side we have the Pakistan who is spending less than us, and on the northern region we have the China. There is a incompatible the incompatible spending between uh, these countries, and we can in future we can look at the this data and learn from this data that how much we need actually to provide to the defense forces and their equipment. And if I talk about the data of the SIPRI, Hmm? In the terms of the GDP, have you think that which country is spending the most of their GDP? Some of the people say USA will spending uh, their more part of the GDP for the defense purpose, but the answer is no. According to the SIPRI, it is a Stockholm International Peace and Research Institute that research on the defense spending by different all over the countries. And according to this data, Ukraine is spending 40% of their GDP to the defense. So we know that Ukraine and Russia are in the war from the year of 2022, and they are still fighting on their borders. Uh, Ukraine have uh, imported weapons from the Western countries as well as America. So they spending a huge. So it means that they are spending 40 rupees out of 100 on their defense purposes only. And if I talk about the other countries, uh, first number is Ukraine, uh, Israel is spending 7.8% of their GDP, Russia 7.5. This is the data. This is the data. And if I talk about ourselves, the USA spend 3.1% of their GDP, and it is very uh, historical that the Pakistan spend more percent of their GDP as compared to India. They spend 2.9% of their GDP, whereas India spent 1.9%. So from here point of view, you can check. We can see that the defense relevance for the Pakistan as compared to India, they are spending their 2.9% and we are spending 1.9%. Uh, the reason for this low spending is very different because in Pakistan we they don't have much welfare state, but in comparison to India, we have a India is a welfare state that is also mentioned in our preamble of Indian Constitution. And the third parameter on which we are looking at the defense spending is the per capita expenditure. So, in this per capita expenditure, Israel top the list. They spent around they spent $4,153, followed by the Qatar. This stands is this data is based on the data provided by the CIPRI, and global average stands at 355. And from here, we can see that from our per capita expenditure is $55 in India, and in Pakistan it is 39. Hmm? And in China we have 178. So we can see that we can look at that how India right now we are we are spending $55. So in future we can resolve ourselves to give our give money to the armed forces of the defense equipment. We can develop a good technology, and we can invest in technology like the AI, and we can purchase things from the foreign country as well. So, or we can also take a resolve to give some little more money, or maybe 1% than the previous one to the government for the defense purposes. Only then we can protect our borders and to live in a peaceful state. This is how uh, we can live in a peaceful relation with our uh, neighborhood. Thank you for your watching. If you have any clarification, if you want any clarification, I will provide you the PDF. And if you have other information as well, you can let me know. Thank you.